Tight ends, Theo Johnson is our mention at the top. He's rostered in 59% of leagues, but worth checking. Theo Johnson's been very good with Jackson Dart and very good with Jameis Winston. So maybe Theo Johnson is just good in fantasy in the tight end landscape right now. Brenton Strange, Matthew, 87% available. He got hurt. Everybody left him for dead. He's back with 5 catches for 93 yards.
Yeah, we've talked about this, how, it's always fun when you're on the waiver wire, you're hunting for Strange, looking out for it. And he has now led, very quietly, Brenton Strange has led the Jaguars in receiving yards in 3 of the 5 full games that he's played this year. Like, middle of the field, again, we've seen it with Parker Washington, we've seen it with Brenton Strange. Had the big game last week, 5 for 93 on 5 targets, double-digit fantasy points each for his last 3 healthy games, and so you're not really scared about this matchup against Tennessee either. So Brenton Strange, pretty interesting, as you see it there on your screen. He was the 4th best tight end in fantasy this past week. How about the guy that's right above him, Colston Loveland of the Bears, Connor? Target share and route participation has increased 3 straight weeks.
That's the key.
It feels like they're finally realizing, despite the fact that they signed Cole Kmet to a big deal,
right?
Loveland is just a special talent.
Right. It took him with a top 10 pick for a reason. And
right.
Now you're kind of reaping those rewards. As you see, he's been consistent. Obviously, the touchdowns really make the difference this week, but that's the case for every tight end, and that's why he's available.
Pretty good headline there, too, by the way.
Live, laugh, Loveland. That's definitely a Dev.
Wow. That's a stupid Dev one. Yeah, Emmy Award winning stupid Dev.
Very crazy.
There's a reason he's got the hardware.
No,
I don't.
Yeah, that's why he's
no
an Emmy
question
Award
about it. Since week 9, he's top 10 in utilization score among tight ends.
Yep.
Colston Loveland is as well.
Yeah, I love this upcoming stretch for the Bears, not because it's a good stretch for them, but because we're going to learn everything we need to know about where Caleb Williams and where Ben Johnson are at with this offense. Because they've been eking out wins, and it's been impressive what Caleb's been able to do at the end of games, but they haven't really played a good defense all year, unless we want to count the Vikings. But outside of that, it's been very easy sailing. And now at Philadelphia on Friday, at Green Bay, home Cleveland, home Green Bay. That is as tough as it gets. I think there's only 5 really good defenses in the NFL, and they're going to play 3 of them,
yeah.
And it's going to be the next 4 games. So we'll learn a lot about these guys.
All right, the deeper league targets, a lot of familiar names. Dalton Schultz, 53% available. Not a good week last week for Dalton Schultz, but before that he'd been consistent. Harold Fannin Jr., Mike Gesicki on the Thursday game against Baltimore.
Gesicki's an interesting one, Connor, just because the 5 games that T. Higgins missed last season, he averaged over 13 fantasy points per game. Again, Joe Burrow will be back.
It's basically a receiver.
And by the way, I don't know what happened with David Njoku last week, but, just nothing. Shedeur was only looking for Fannin, had a 33% target share. So
something to keep an eye on.
Something to keep an eye on here. Fannin continue to get. Speaking of guys that you want on your dynasty team, Gunnar Helm. They love him in Tennessee, Connor.
Yeah, and what's the theme here? You talked about Fannin and Shedeur, and now we're talking about Cam and Gunnar Helm. These are rookies that come in together. They get a lot of reps together over the summer, so then there's a comfort level when they're on the field together right away.
Absolutely.
No question. And by the way, just quietly, Darren Waller expected to return to practice this week. 4 touchdowns in his 3 full games this season. No one's really emerged outside of Waddle and Achane since Waller went down. We thought, Malik Washington or somebody step up, and it really hasn't. So Waller, who they seem to like in the red zone, just might have gotten dropped when he got injured. Just worth noting about him.
If you need a defense, the Chargers, they have the Raiders. What else do I really need to say there? And they're 61% available. Jacksonville against Tennessee, although Tennessee's offense has been better. The Falcons against the Jets. Jets, even with Tyrod last week, only scored 10 points. The Colts against the Texans, although Stroud might be back. And the Dolphins against the Saints, a.k.a. the Taysom Hill red zone offense.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.